and we are seeing the impact of that loss here in South Central. Georgina Fernandez spoke with the Catholic Church in Alaska today.
Today, people are talking about legacy.
It's a time of grieving for many.
I know tomorrow the history books will certainly write about that.
As Catholics and others around the world remember Pope Francis, including the Archbishop of Juneau Anchorage, Andrew Baserio, who was joined on Monday as he processed the news.
I'm sure most of us are sad during this day because, you know, we all love Holy Father Francis.
Do you guys have any personal relationships with him?
I met him twice, and on the 2 times I met with him, not very long at all. But what I found very interesting, besides just meeting with him, he's very personable. He's a gentleman that you could look right in the eye like we're doing right here.
The Archbishop adding how Francis was known for reaching out towards marginalized people.
People who suffer a lot, you know, people who suffer from mental illness, being people left out from other people's memory, other people's minds. And he brought that to the forefront. And he preached about it all the time.
What can people do right now who are, in distress, who are heartbroken hearing this news?
Well, turning to their brothers and sisters, because we're all in the same place. You know, when you lose a loved one, and especially somebody you love and care for in a very personal way, and many of us, of course, know Pope Francis, but not in the same way we would know, a mom or dad or a brother or sister or a good friend. When that happens, we need time just to grieve, the loss of somebody.
As they now take the time to remember Francis.
He's changed our church, sent us in a direction that I think is very positive for all of us.
And what he meant to them individually and as religion. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
And the Archbishop said that they are working on planning a memorial for the late Pope. And in the studio now to speak on the impact Pope Francis had on Alaska and the world is Father Patrick Travers. How did your congregation react to the news that the Pope had died?
Well, of course, it is very sad. So many people admired him. This morning at Mass at Holy Cross Church, we, of course, remembered him in a special way, and a number of people expressed sorrow that he'd left us. But at the same time, it wasn't a total surprise that that had happened. One thing that a number of us have mentioned is that it was so good that his last day was Easter Sunday, and that on that day, he actually went out back on the balcony of St. Peter's at the Vatican, went around St. Peter's Square, saw people and greeted them for some time, I guess about 40 minutes. And so it really was a wonderful way for him to take his leave. And I think many of us were happy to see him that way at the very end.
And what did Pope Francis's leadership mean to Catholics in Alaska?
I think that one of the biggest things that he meant for us is that on the one hand, he was very strong in defending Catholic beliefs, particularly moral beliefs. But he also was able to see that implementation of those beliefs is something that we often are not in control of. For example, he was very open on his support for traditional sexual morality. He was against abortion. But he also recognized that those who take part in things that the church might not find to be in accordance with its teaching are not doing so because they're bad, or not doing so because they don't want to. In many cases, they're not able to control the circumstances in which they live, even internal circumstances like psychological considerations. And so it is that he was able to offer a message of mercy at the same time that he also was supporting Catholic beliefs going back, many centuries in some cases. To say that he was a person of mercy is one of the biggest compliments we can give him. And one of the things that he helped to get across is that all of us are sinners. All of us have our weak spots in our personalities and our lives. But in the end, we are called to a conversion that is gradual, a conversion that's a lifelong process that none of us really complete in this world, but that all of us can be on. And the important thing is not whether a person is perfectly conformable in their conduct to what the church teaches. Rather, it's what's important is that they are in the process of trying to get there.
Father Travis, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And